Welcome to Dave TV. How are you all doing today? I'm doing fine. It is the 26th of April, 2013. And here we go again. The White House Correspondents Association dinner and a big piece on it. Actually, not a bad piece from Mr. Paul Farhi here on all the crap. Something I don't know. Journalists have enough time trying to not be used car salesmen. I think the reputation of many journalists, the journalism business in this country today, probably has a reputation lower than being a used car salesman or a telemarketer. Most people don't like journalists, and this is kind of why when companies spend, and I realize, the White House Correspondents Association dinner is raising money for journalistic scholarships, and that's all well and good. But, it's done in a way that is just offensive to a lot of folks, outside the Beltway who are watching all these, the schmooze fest with celebrities and movie stars and, pompous asses, lots of, catered, corporate types, big. It's kind of, I guess it kind of pulls back that we think of journalism as being this noble profession, and this kind of pulls back, and we get to see the business sleaze and the celebrity sleaze and the pompous ass egos, and in a weird way, maybe it's just reality. So anyhow, what is it, Saturday night, and it's usually an entertaining little batch. All the celebrities go sit at their little tables, and they march in, and they're all dressed up and all that, and then the president makes a little speech, and everybody laughs, and then they have all these wild and crazy parties all night. And the next day they have more parties, and everybody, then you have certain blogs that just sit there and write little smart, snarky things all weekend, and then it's over. It's like, okay, pay attention or not pay attention. And the media writes all about it. So one of the things the media does really well, I think, is cover itself. And I think when you look at the Boston bombing, you see an awful lot of that. Covering ourselves. A lot of what was written about was the media covering the media, covering the media, covering the media, covering the Boston bombing. And it kind of gets a little bit old. But anyhow, will it be on C-SPAN? I think it will be, as it usually is. Maybe I'll DVR it. I don't know. But I think it was a fairly good piece. So, Farhi's a C-plus journalist, and I think this was probably a B- piece. So very good for Paul. Congratulations, Paul. Congratulations. So one of the things that I do get occasionally are blistering criticisms from people. I got this, and they're always anonymous, so I get this one this morning. And it basically is saying, DCRTV's been around for, 15, 16 years, and you're still not getting drudge-like traffic, I do a YouTube video, and 50 to 100 people will watch it. It's not being watched by thousands of people, millions of people. The site looks kind of old. It's dated looking. The Mailbag, you can't create threads and da 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 da. And I need to jump into the future and make here's the deal. And I address this over and over again, and I'm kind of wary of addressing it again, but I will, just for the hell of it. I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, that there is any other website that covers local media market like DCRTV that gets the kind of traffic DCRTV gets. We don't get drudge traffic. No, I don't report about cover stuff for a national audience. I'm covering stuff for a relatively niche-y, markety thing. So I'm not really in the business. I don't post videos of, my YouTube videos of me talking, and that's what I do. What am I supposed to do? I guess I could take my clothes off and do a porn thing, and I might get some more hits. But for what I do, for what DCRTV is, we do rival a lot of the radio news sites. The radio news sites that cover news on a national basis. My traffic and probably my ad revenue and my whatever is probably right up there with them. And that's I think the most I can hope for doing this website. You know, as for the site being kind of old-fashioned looking, well, yes, it is. But you know, the one thing I always wanted about the website was I wanted it to be simple and easy to navigate. I don't want it to have intrusive stuff. You know, I go to a lot of websites, and I visit a lot of websites, especially local news organizations in the Washington area. And you know, you go to WashingtonExaminer.com, or you go to Fox, you know, that was at My Fox DC or whatever the hell it's called, and they're annoying. I mean, they're you know, professionally designed sites, but they're all full of annoying crap, and they're doing cookies, and they're slapping things in your face, and you have to fight to knock things down. You go to the Washington Post website, and you're constantly clicking, I don't want to see that ad, go away, this and that. The pages are slow to load. You know, you've got really up their websites, and they're crap. And one of the things I always wanted about DCRTV was I want to keep it simple and easy to load, and I don't want people having to fight stuff. Yeah, we have to have ads on the site because they pay the bill. You know, pay the bills, but you know, I don't want the site to be intrusive. I don't want those ads to come and intrude. You know, there's a certain news area that stays news, and so there. You know, I've been running this site now for almost 16 years, and yeah, okay, you know, it's you know, I think it does very well for what it is, and I have to say to myself, it's what it is. It's a you know, it's a news media site for this area and for a local market and for a number of local markets covering Baltimore up into Philly and New York and all that. And for what we do, I think we do very well. Yeah, I could change the site and, you know, make it something else in order to get more traffic and more ad revenue. And, you know, we'd be competing with some other people and stuff like that. But, you know, for what it is, I think, and again, to many respects, I think we've maxed out on a lot of things. And that's why I'm trying to add new pages like the Capitol Hill News page and stuff like that, you know, to kind of give it a little more oomph. But, you know, I get these things. And the other thing we have to compete with is Facebook. You know, Facebook doesn't bring in revenue. It does bring in traffic. And, you know, you can go to Facebook and you can, and I let people do this all the time. If you want to start a thread, if you want to talk about something, go ahead and write it up on Facebook. Or, you know, you can do the comment kind of thing on Facebook. It's a little more, you know, what people are maybe used to these days, and go ahead and do that. And I hype that very much. So go on Facebook. The problem with Facebook, again, is I can't monetize it, you know. And you see a lot of sites like Romanesco, which is a journalist site, which, you know, he has his own website and then he has Facebook, and it seems like more people are going to the Facebook page than going to his website, which he can make money on, but he can't make money on Facebook. But he gets more traffic on Facebook. So it's a big balance act thingy dingy. But when you look at, you know, when you compare my site to some of these other, you know, even sites like Fishbowl DC and Mediaite and stuff, you know, I mean, we do respectable, you know, I mean, you know, you look at Fishbowl DC, and good God, some days there's nobody commenting on anything over there. And that's a, you know, part of a major, you know, you look at Media Bistro, and you go from Media Bistro blog to Media Bistro blog, and they're like lonely. And this is a professionally designed major site, you know. So I don't know. I think we hold our own very well. We you know, and, you know, if you don't like the mailbag, you know, granted, some people, there are mailbag regulars, and that's, but, you know, when you go to any forum, when you go to say like TV Newser, and they'll have some news there, and there'll be 300 comments, and then you look at those 300 comments, and the same 5 people commenting over and 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 over again. You know, that's what you get when you do the internet. You know, there are loyal regulars, you know, and we do have the same thing with the mailbag. You know, there are some people there that post 4 or 5 postings every single day. And, whoa, I'm supposed to, you know, cut back on that. And, you know, I don't know. I'll tell you something. If you want to send me criticism, that's fine. I don't mind. But, you know, put your name on it. At least let me know who you are. I'll be happy to address it all. But I just, you know, you wonder who the, you know, And the other thing is the influence of DCRTV. While we may not get the most amount of traffic in the world, we do have a tremendous amount of influence in this local media market. And I hear that all the time. You know, news directors and program directors and you know, people in the government at the FCC, and you know, I'll say something. For instance, I'll say something just piddling in one of my Dave TVs someday, and it's like I didn't even realize I said it, and I'll get 5 or 6 comments of, you know, what did you mean by that? You know, I'm like, did I even remember saying that? So the stuff does have some sort of bite somewhere, you know. But that's the internet. It's crazy. But I think, you know, when you do a website, especially like what I'm doing, you have to realize, and it's like what WTOP does with WFED. It may not get the greatest ratings being federal news radio, and it doesn't get that great ratings, but it does make revenue and it does have a lot of impact. And you have to realize that a lot of it's like newsletters do the same thing. You know, they may not get a huge audience, but they do have a depth there. They reach a depth, and I think DCRTV does that. When you look at the Washington broadcast community, when you look at the internet community, when you look to certain degrees at the political and regulatory communities in this area, and you know, the advertising community, we certainly do shake things up. I know that. And, you know, we may not get drudge-like traffic, but I think, you know, we do a lot. And for what we do, again, you name me some other site that covers local media in any other market, and even New York. Any other website that covers local, you know, it's like the New York radio message board, which is great. It's fun. You know, it's an old-fashioned, clunky old message board, and it gets a lot of traffic, I think. But there's no monetization of that. There's no news page coming off of that. You know, they could build, you could, Alan Snifton or whatever his name is, you could write him a letter saying, hey, why don't you build that out and make a big New York media website out of it? You know, he doesn't want to do that, you know. And, you know, I think because he realizes, what's the use? And then you go to Fishbowl NY, which is a Media Bistro site. And again, it's kind of lonely there. So, you know, you got to, I guess, put it all into perspective and realize that the levels of success for doing websites like mine are measured in many different ways and not just sheer numbers of revenue and traffic. Whatever that means. Did I say that? All right, folks, that's my crazed, wild ramblings for today. And you know, if I get 47 viewers of this, I'll be happy. Hey, live long and prosper.